So for like a decade now, crypto basically promised to just completely bankrupt traditional banks.
Oh, absolutely. That was the whole narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you paid attention to the story at all, it was always the same thing. Banks are these bloated dinosaurs going extinct, and digital rebels are taking over the financial system.
Right, the classic disruption story.
Right. But today, we are looking at a plot twist that honestly nobody saw coming. We're doing a deep dive into a scenario where the exact technology meant to destroy your local bank.
It's actually about to become its biggest superpower.
Yes, exactly. It is wild.
It's a fascinating pivot, honestly, because the narrative completely flipped. You know, the dinosaurs aren't being wiped out by the meteor anymore.
They're harnessing it.
Literally, they are figuring out how to harness the meteor's energy to rebuild their entire infrastructure.
And that massive shift is exactly what we are unpacking for you today. We've got a really interesting stack of research.
We do.
Yeah, our central text is this article by a guy named Bruce Stewart from the Metallicus community. Came out on May 22nd, 2026.
The title alone is great.
Oh, it really lays down the gauntlet. It's called The Banking Problem Nobody Else Solved.
Which is quite a claim.
It is. And alongside the article, we're also analyzing some of their visual branding, which honestly I think sets the tone for this whole shift we're talking about.
It really does. It's very distinct.
Yeah, it's this incredibly sleek, serious image. So you've got this stark black background, right? And the words, the digital banking network, in crisp white text.
And then right next to it, there's that solid 3D silver letter M.
Yes, enclosed in that diamond-shaped frame with like a vibrant rainbow gradient around it.
The visual contrast there is really striking.
It is, because it doesn't look like some chaotic fly-by-night crypto meme token.
No, not at all. It looks like institutional bedrock.
Exactly. It feels like serious infrastructure. And that brings us to our mission for this deep dive.
Right. What are we trying to figure out today?
We are going to figure out how financial institutions are finally modernizing for the digital asset era, but without destroying their existing highly regulated infrastructure.
Which is the key part.
Right. And we're going to look at why this company, Metallicus, might actually be the one laying down the essential rails for this next era of finance.
Because, we have officially moved out of the era of wild speculative hype.
Thankfully.
Right. For years, blockchain was just theoretical for traditional finance, just a buzzword. But what we are looking at today in this source material is actual on-the-ground institutional implementation.
Yeah.
The shift from wild speculation to foundational plumbing is happening as we speak. And frankly, if you aren't paying attention to the infrastructure being built behind the scenes right now, you are going to miss the biggest financial evolution of our generation.
Okay, let's unpack this, because Stewart's article poses this massive question right at the top.
The impossible trade-off.
Yes. He asks, basically, how do financial institutions modernize for the digital asset era without sacrificing compliance or operational control or customer trust or their existing infrastructure?
It's a lot to balance.
It is. And when I read that, it suddenly hit me why the early crypto movement just failed so spectacularly at replacing the banking system.
Well, the initial approach was just incredibly hostile to the very institutions that hold the world's capital.
Right. Think about it like this. Early crypto trying to replace banking was, it was like a tech startup trying to eliminate the postal service by giving everyone on the street an unregulated fleet of carrier pigeons.
That is a perfect analogy. Just pigeons everywhere.
Right. It's cool tech, and sure, the pigeons are fast, but banks are heavily regulated post offices.
Exactly.
They don't want unregulated pigeons flying around unpredictably. They want an enterprise email server that, logs every single message for the auditors, ensures delivery, blocks spam.
They want the good stuff.
Yes. They wanted the good stuff that blockchain offers, like real-time settlement, stablecoins, tokenized payments, faster treasury operations.
But they were being forced into these impossible trade-offs by the crypto industry.
Right, because getting the new tech meant abandoning all their compliance and trust.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you've perfectly illustrated the industry's biggest strategic error over the last 10 years.
Which was?
Well, much of the crypto space spent a decade aggressively trying to bypass traditional banks entirely.
Yeah, just completely go around them.
Right. They built these fragmented, totally isolated consumer apps that just existed in a vacuum. But Metallicus looked at that landscape and took the exact opposite approach.
They chose to build for the banks.
Exactly. And choosing collaboration over destruction changes the entire paradigm.
It really does. Because they looked at the highly regulated, complex world of traditional finance and realized, the banks just wanted a better cash register. They didn't want their building burned to the ground.
Right. It shifts the dynamic from competition to empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
But to do that, you have to build technology that actually understands the regulatory environment.
Right, because traditional banks couldn't legally touch those fragmented crypto apps anyway?
No, the regulators would shut them down in a heartbeat.
So there's this massive vacuum in the market for something that actually passed regulatory muster. And that brings us to the solution Metallicus built to fill that void.
The digital banking network.
Yes, or TDBN.
Yeah.
The article describes it as a vertically integrated blockchain banking framework designed specifically for regulated financial institutions.
Which goes back to that visual we discussed earlier.
Oh, right. The stark black background, the metallic 3D the clean text.
It perfectly reflects this approach. It's a visual representation of stability. It's saying, we aren't here to break your bank. We are here to upgrade it.
Yeah.
And stability is the very first thing a regulated institution needs to see before they even consider adopting new tech.
Okay, but I have to push back a little bit here. Because I read this, and my skeptical alarm bell started ringing instantly.
Oh, so?
Well, literally everyone in tech claims they offer a framework or an ecosystem.
Oh, yeah. It's the ultimate buzzword right now.
Right. So what does it actually mean in practical mechanical terms to build the full stack for a bank?
Okay, so to understand what the full stack means, we have to look at the specific operational problem banks face.
Okay.
A traditional bank cannot just plug their database into a random public blockchain. The regulatory environment simply does not allow it.
Right.
So a true full-stack solution requires an entire operational framework that translates strict banking rules into digital architecture.
Which means what exactly?
According to the source material, this entails built-in compliance systems, rigorous identity verification, stablecoin infrastructure, core banking integration, fiat on- and off-ramps, and secure custody architecture.
Wait, slow down. Because built-in compliance and identity verification sound great on paper, but let's look at the mechanics.
Okay.
Blockchain is inherently pseudo-anonymous by design, right? It's literally just a public ledger of wallet addresses.
Right.
So how is Metallicus actually reconciling the transparency of a public ledger with the incredibly strict privacy and KYC, know your customer laws that banks have to follow?
It feels like a contradiction.
It feels like a massive oxymoron.
Well, that is the core technical hurdle they have to solve. And the way it functions mechanically is by decoupling the identity verification from the public ledger itself.
Oh, interesting. So they separate them.
Exactly. The bank still holds your private data securely on their end, complying with all traditional privacy laws.
Okay.
But what goes on the blockchain is a cryptographic proof. It's essentially a digital stamp of approval saying, this user has been verified by a regulated institution.
Wait, so the transaction can move freely and transparently on the blockchain,
Yes.
but my personal data remains locked inside the bank's secure compliance system.
Precisely. The blockchain knows the transaction is legal and verified, but it doesn't broadcast your social security number to the world.
Oh, wow. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
And that is just one layer, right?
Yes.
On top of that, you have to integrate this with their core banking system.
The legacy stuff.
Right. Core banking software is the central nervous system of a bank. It processes daily transactions, updates accounts, posts financial records. You can't just rip that out.
No, it would be a disaster.
So the Metallicus full stack builds APIs, these software bridges, that allow those old 1980s legacy core systems to talk directly to the modern blockchain ledger in real time.
That's huge.
And then you add payment settlement mechanisms, stringent risk controls, governance systems, security layers.
It's a lot of moving parts.
It is. Most fintech firms out there look at that list and they solve one, maybe two pieces of the puzzle. Metallicus is building the entire integrated engine.
Which honestly gives massive weight to a quote from the article that really stuck out to me.
Which one?
It's from the Metallicus Q2 2025 report. They state, and I quote, "Where others have built fragmented and isolated solutions, Metallicus has developed a purpose-built vertical framework for banking."
You know, that might be the most important sentence in that entire Q2 report.
Really? Why?
Because it highlights the fundamental shift from treating crypto as a collection of isolated parts to creating a unified banking engine.
Oh, I see.
They aren't handing banks a box of random gears and wires and hoping the bank can build a car. They're providing the entire manufacturing plant.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Yeah.
Because when you think about who is actually taking this fully assembled engine out for a test drive right now, you'd naturally assume it's the massive Wall Street megabanks.
Sure, the ones with the massive budgets.
Right, the ones with bottomless R&D budgets and skyscrapers in Manhattan. But the vanguard here, the ones actually leading the charge, are credit unions and community financial institutions.
It is a brilliant, counterintuitive, strategic focus.
But why? Like, when you think of cutting-edge blockchain technology, you don't usually picture your local neighborhood community credit union.
No, you definitely don't.
Why are they the ones stepping up as the primary testing ground for this?
Well, it comes down to a massive, under-the-radar opportunity combined with the agility of smaller organizations.
Agility makes sense.
Right. And think about the scale. Credit unions collectively manage trillions of dollars in deposits.
Trillions. Wow.
Yes. They are a formidable force in the economy, yet many of them are trapped on legacy infrastructure stacks that were literally built decades ago.
So they're sitting on a ton of capital but using ancient tech.
Exactly. They have the capital and they have deep multi-generational community trust, which is huge. But their back-end technology is holding them back from offering modern services.
Oh, so they actually have the most to gain from a technological leapfrog.
Precisely. The massive Wall Street banks are burdened by thousands of interconnected legacy systems and layers of bureaucratic red tape. It makes it nearly impossible for them to pivot quickly.
Right, turning a cruise ship versus a speedboat.
Yes. The credit union is agile enough to actually implement the change. And the thing is, this isn't just theoretical posturing anymore. No, the Metallicus 2025 Q4 report sent a massive signal to the market about this. Institutions have moved entirely out of the crypto experimentation phase.
Okay, yeah, the quote from that Q4 report is incredibly specific about the operational reality of this.
I think I know the one you mean.
They said, institutions moved beyond initial exploration and began actively testing workflows, evaluating integration pathways, and preparing for what comes next.
Right. Let's look at what that actually means on the ground.
Yeah, break that down for me.
These credit unions are actively testing stablecoin issuance right now.
Okay, and a stablecoin is simply a digital token pegged to a stable asset, right, like the US dollar.
Exactly. But the mechanics of a credit union issuing one means they are testing how to convert a member's traditional fiat deposit into a digital dollar on the blockchain.
Okay.
And then move it across the network instantly and convert it back, all inside controlled, highly regulated environments.
So they're doing real member transfers.
Yes, they are testing settlement workflows and how these systems interoperate. This is actual operational testing inside real financial systems.
And it's so significant that it's actually making waves in traditional financial media, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the article mentions that American Banker recently highlighted the work Metallicus is doing around stablecoin infrastructure, specifically for these smaller institutions.
Which is huge. Institutional visibility in a publication like American Banker is a major validation of their strategy.
Because it's an establishment paper.
Exactly. Adoption in traditional banking does not happen overnight. It is a very slow, methodical process built on pilots, rigorous compliance validation, and most importantly, operational trust.
Right.
So seeing this covered by the establishment press means the establishment is taking the threat and the opportunity very seriously.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener trying to make sense of all this?
It translates to a lot of real-world impact.
Let's translate this massive technological shift into your actual daily life. Right now, the financial system you interact with runs on incredibly outdated rails.
Very outdated.
It means slow settlement times. It means fragmented systems and legacy middleware that barely talk to each other.
It basically means artificial friction built into your daily life.
Yes, artificial friction. You know that deeply frustrating feeling of waiting for a vital bank transfer to clear over a long holiday weekend?
Oh, it's the worst.
Right. You check your app on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and your money is just floating in the void somewhere.
Just because the bank is technically closed?
Which is absurd. Think about how absurd that is in the digital age. Money shouldn't have business hours.
No, it shouldn't.
But the reason it does is because of batch processing. The banks literally have to wait for humans to come into an office, reconcile different databases, and push the transaction through a centralized clearinghouse.
Yep, the humans have to hit the button.
That friction you feel is the legacy middleware and restricted operational hours talking. That is the outdated rail system in action.
And what's fascinating here is how the Metallicus ecosystem is systematically replacing those outdated rails piece by piece without tearing up the tracks entirely. That's the crux of the source material.
Right.
If you look at the sprawling components they've built to execute this, at the base, you have the metal blockchain.
Okay, the foundation.
Right. This is the foundational layer, the immutable ledger where the records actually live. But a ledger isn't enough. You need vehicles to move the value.
And that's where the stablecoin comes in, right? The metal dollar or XMD.
Yes, exactly. XMD acts as the standardized digital vehicle for fiat currency on this network.
Got it.
But then you need a way to enforce all the complex rules of banking automatically, which brings us to Pulse VM.
Okay, I saw Pulse VM mentioned in the notes. Let's break that down, because to me that just sounds like deep tech jargon.
It does sound complicated.
What does a VM, a virtual machine, actually do for a bank?
Okay, think of Pulse VM as the engine that processes smart contracts.
And a smart contract is simply an automated, unalterable rule written into the code of the transaction, right?
Precisely. So for a bank, Pulse VM is how they guarantee compliance without human intervention.
Oh, I see.
Instead of a compliance officer manually checking if a transfer meets regulatory limits, Pulse VM executes a smart contract that automatically checks the parameters, verifies the identities, and clears the transaction in milliseconds.
Wow, so it just completely replaces the slow, human-driven batch processing.
Entirely. It replaces it with instant automated logic.
And they've also integrated with FedNow, right?
Yes.
Which is the Federal Reserve's new instant payment system. So this blockchain network isn't just existing in its own silo. It is already talking directly to the U.S. government's own rails.
Exactly. And when you combine the metal blockchain, the XMD stablecoin, the automated compliance of Pulse VM, and the direct connection to the Federal Reserve via FedNow,
The whole picture comes together.
the picture becomes incredibly clear. You realize very quickly, this doesn't look like a crypto project at all anymore.
No, it looks like a modern central nervous system for a bank. It is the enterprise email server replacing the carrier pigeons.
It is the exact definition of modern banking infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that is the core philosophy emphasized throughout Bruce Stewart's piece. Blockchain should work alongside existing financial systems.
Right.
It should upgrade them with digital dollars, compliant decentralized finance, and real-time payments. It shouldn't be about destroying the old system.
It should be about elevating it so it can function in a 247 digital economy.
Exactly.
So to wrap all of this up for you, the broader market might still be entirely distracted by the hype, right? The memes, the wild speculation of retail crypto.
Which is always loud.
It's very loud. But behind the scenes, a massive structural transformation is quietly taking place. Financial institutions are actively preparing for a new era of infrastructure.
They really are.
They aren't looking for anarchic tech that bypasses regulations. They are looking for companies that have actually built the rails they can use legally right now.
Right.
And Metallicus, with the digital banking network, has positioned itself right at the dead center of that shift.
Which leaves us with a rather profound question to consider, I think.
Let's hear it.
Well, we know that these community credit unions are the ones actively piloting these advanced, real-time blockchain settlement rails and stablecoins right now.
Right, the unlikely vanguard.
Exactly. So what happens in a few years?
Okay.
Imagine a scenario where your local small-town credit union suddenly boasts faster, more advanced, and drastically more efficient treasury operations than a massive traditional Wall Street megabank that stubbornly refused to adapt.
Oh, wow.
Right? Will the ultimate disruption of the big banks come not from crypto rebels trying to burn down the system, but from the friendly neighborhood credit union armed with institutional-grade blockchain infrastructure?
That is a wild thought to leave on. The revolution might just be fully compliant and insured by the government.
It just might be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.